Welcome back, my beautiful friends. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Up in just a few minutes in our influencer segment brought to us by HighThere, we're featuring LA native comedian, actress, and influencer, Callie Scott. She is a writer and a director of the web series Run Me the Meat, and her big break came after winning Best Actress at the Atlanta Short Film Festival. We're going to talk to her about that in just a bit. That landed her a first TV role on House Out of Order. Today, we're chatting about how comedy finally has caught up to female comedians, how she got started, and what life looks like for artists these days. Now, the first surge of funny women into comedy happened during the stand up boom of the 1970s and the 1980s. And that's when droves of young women, driven with the politics of feminism, started to flood stand up comedy clubs, which were rapidly multiplying nationwide. But the clubs weren't so welcoming. Stage time was hard to come by. And that's because of sexist rules among those who scheduled comedy shows, that you could only have one woman on any given lineup, or at open mic nights, two women could never be put back to back. That meant women had to find time by playing all women's comedy nights where audiences were largely women and primarily gay men. Fast forward to the emergence of new female voices over the past 5 years, and that has brought us to a point where the importance of women in American comedy can no longer be glossed over. There is no going back. The rise of identity politics has reinvigorated feminism and created a demand for points of view that go way beyond those of white men. And social media has further democratized the entertainment world by letting audiences directly express their approval with likes. That's right. Women have been thriving in social media channels for years. And now that the alternative is the norm, female comedians are especially prepared to take advantage of this new climate. Welcoming to the show now is the beautiful Callie Scott. Welcome to the show, superstar.
Hi, thank you. Good morning. How are
Thank
you
you.
doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for coming on. Okay, Callie, you are really good at what you do. Hilarious, in fact. Can you make us laugh over the next 60 seconds?
I got you. Okay. Well, my daughter is very embarrassing for me. I don't know what her problem is, but I really think that it's because I taught her to be honest. The problem with that is that she only tells the truth when it's embarrassing to me. My daughter and I went to the mall, and a nice lady told us that we look more like siblings than we do mother and daughter. And I walked around for the rest of the day with a smile on my face. My daughter, however, looked very sad and melancholy. So I finally asked her, "What's wrong with you?" And she said, "Oh, well, apparently I look 30." That's my baby.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And how old is your daughter?
My daughter is 15.
God bless you, Mama. You are young. I would have never guessed you had a 15-year-old daughter at all. In fact, I did not know that you were part of the mom club. So welcome, and thank you for being part of it and making light of all the heavy workloads that us moms have to face. Bringing me to um, I don't know if you knew this, but at the Comedy Store in Los Angeles, Cali, which was owned and run by a woman by the name of Mitzi Shore, women were relegated to a secondary stage in an upstairs corner of the club called the Belly Room. Okay, and the Belly Room was a pink ghetto where women were segregated from the men. It was unfair and sexist, to be sure, but in retrospect, it gave women a chance to practice frequently and practice offbeat material without limitations and away from the misogyny, which brings us to today. Women are paving the way. But talk to me about some of the limitations that you have faced as a Black female in the comedy industry.
That's so interesting. I actually perform at the Belly Room now. It's kind of the similar platform where it's a secondary room, but a Black woman actually runs it, and she gives a lot of opportunity to other comics who otherwise wouldn't have the chance to perform at the Comedy Store. It's really like a starting place for us to be able to get on the main stage.
Well, I'm glad to see that women are having more opportunity and that the Belly Room is giving, more runway to women to be able to display their talents. So I'm glad to hear that.
Getting female comics to be on shows is still not the norm. It's like one female per show, or you'll get lucky and there's two. There's a lot of women that go to open mics, but it's a male dominated space. We got to fight very hard and put each other onto our own shows, and still like carry some of the male heavy hitters so that we can still get the same traction, the same amount of audience. And it's just like, it's an interesting space to work in. You got to be ready to fight every single day.
You know, some things just never change because it's old boys school Hollywood mentality, and Hollywood is run by men primarily. It's an old boys club, and I really do hope that women start to pave the way even further. But let's when you look at the actual comedians, okay, let's look at Lena Dunham. She got her start posting comedy sketches on YouTube and creating at least 2 web series, right? Tig Notaro's legendary impromptu set about her breast cancer diagnosis, starting with tweets from comedians in the audience, went viral instantly. And then she was able to be re released directly to fans through Louis C.K.'s website, so that was great. And as well as other established comedians like Amy Schumer and Samantha Bee, Chelsea Handler and Mindy Kaling. These are all emerging female comedians, and they are the voices of their generation. So female comedians have definitely been ahead of their time. But let's transition to about you winning Best Actress at the Atlanta Short Film Festival. What was that about, and how long ago did that happen?
This was last year. We did a short film. Shout out to Robbie World. He's a director. And as a friend, he was just like, hey, let's do this short film. We literally took a $500 budget and turned it into a festival worthy piece of work. And it was so cool because it did so many festivals and it's actually won quite a few awards. But it was so interesting because I remember shooting the film and being like on the streets of Hollywood and just feeling like this is where I want to be at. This is where I want to make it. This is what I want to be doing. And for it to full circle, like come around and do a film about, really like working in this industry. It was a horror film. And I had to deeply dive into my actor bag. I've done things in that movie that I hadn't quite tapped into yet as an actor. And it was an incredible experience. And it makes me so energized as an entertainer. Like there's so many things that you can do now with with social media, being able to really change and make your own way. The exposure that we got from this film has really just helped everybody that was in this project like have a new platform to stand on.
What was the name of the film?
It's called HighThere with an exclamation mark for the I.
Interesting. So that seems like it paved the way for a lot for you. And then, to my understanding, you went on and you became a writer and a director of the web series called Run Me the Meat. What inspired this series?
It's basically me being silly. Run Me the Meat, and a lot of my comedy is based off of how I feel, and I like to empower women that think non-conventionally to just go ahead and like be themselves. I think that a lot of my success is built on the fact that people don't expect my thought process to be so logical or just so direct. They want women to be like very like prissy, and my comedy is just like very direct. It's like no, let's cut all the fat and just get straight to the point.
No filter, no BS, straight to the core of it all. I love it. Okay. Interestingly, I want to get to know you a little bit more, and I want to ask you some really funny questions. Are you ready for some Q&A? I want you to answer the questions without giving too much thought. You a little bit, but this should be fun. All right. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. If animals could talk, Callie, which would be the rudest?
Warthogs.
Is cereal soup?
Cereal soup?
Is cereal soup?
Yeah.
What sport would be the funniest to add a mandatory amount of alcohol to?
Baseball.
Could you imagine? Oh my God, people would be getting injured. Okay. What was your favorite TV show growing up?
Probably Chip and Dale.
Oh, yeah. Wait, the Rescue Rangers?
Yes.
Oh, I love them. Okay. Would you rather have no nose or no arms?
Oh, no nose. People stink.
What is your spirit animal?
My spirit animal is probably a flamingo.
Well, see, that says a lot. That like mine's a horse. Which would you prefer to have as your roommate, a goat or a bird?
A bird.
Why?
A goat, like a bird is gonna poop, but like it'll hopefully be in like the corner of
Or
somewhere.
poke your eyes out in the middle of the night when you're sleeping.
What? What kind of goats have you been
The
around?
bird, the bird.
Goats are not safe. I think they kick, they stink. It's a bigger animal. I want the bird. I can do a
True,
bird.
true,
Mhm.
true. All right. If you were an artist, would you paint on your first day? What would you paint on your first day?
What would I paint on my first day? The ocean.
Uh-huh. Oh,
Yeah.
see, we're getting a lot of depth into your soul now. If you were a fruit, what fruit would you be?
What fruit would I be? Probably mango.
Okay, I like that. What's the worst, most annoying catchphrase?
The worst, most annoying catchphrase. Just do it.
Just do it is the worst one.
I think that is the worst like slogan catchphrase ever.
Oh yeah, yeah. Nike, Nike, Nike. Okay, what's the worst song ever?
The worst song ever, Friday. Oh, that one song, it's like, it's Friday, Friday. And like took over for like, I don't know, like a year. It was terrible.
Okay, which musician do you think would make the best teacher?
Um, Usher, he's great at explaining everything.
Really? I see. I was going to say John Legend, but okay,
No, I can
I'll
see
give
John
you Usher.
Legend.
I'll give you Usher. Yeah, okay, that's it. What superhero or villain would make the best therapist?
Oh, that's a great question. I love. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Uh, Batman.
Batman. All right,
Mhm.
I like that. And finally, because we're almost out of time, what's the most useless word?
Uh, hmm, I have no clue. That's a really good question. The most useless word.
I don't know. That's a good one, right?
It is.
I would say okay.
Okay. I use it a lot.
That can't be right. I'm not. I don't know. I'm looking to you for the answer, Callie. The most useless word.
The most useless word is probably like. Like?
Like.
Yeah.
That's the most useless word. And we are out of time. Callie, thank you so much for joining us. It was such a pleasure interviewing you.
Thank you for having me.
That was our influencer segment brought to us by HighThere, and that was the amazing Callie Scott. Do check her out on her website, calliescott.com with 2 T's. Also check her out all over social media at like Callie Scott. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. We'll be right back after this.